We have a $1.7 trillion crisis in the United States. Student loan debt is crazy in this country. 9 million Americans just aren't paying their student loan debt. Just not paying it. I'm Maurice Mazel, and I was caught in the student loan trap too. Then I found a way to get out of it. Now I'm helping others find a way out of the trap as well. So if you're in this situation right now, or you know someone that's in this situation, this video is for you. Here's some solutions. So if you work for a government entity, federal, state, or local, or tribal government, you can get your student loans forgiven through public service loan forgiveness. Or if you'd work for a 501c3 nonprofit for 10 years, you can get your student loans forgiven through that entity as well. Now you gotta keep in mind, you have to work nonprofit. This is not for volunteers, this is not for part-time employees. You have to be a full-time employee working 30 hours or more per week. If you're making qualifying payments while being a full-time employee for any of these entities for 10 years, you can get your student loans forgiven. Now, a lot of people haven't worked for any of those entities before, so they're wondering, how can I be a part of this federal student loan forgiveness? Now, a lot of people haven't worked for any of those entities before, so they're wondering, how can I be a part of public service loan forgiveness? Well, you can actually form your own 501c3 nonprofit. You and 2 people that you know and trust can be on the board, and you can file on the state level, and you can also file for 501c3 status with the IRS. Now, this process takes 4 to 12 weeks, maybe even longer in some instances, but the payoff is well worth it. You can be on the board and you can also be an employee at the same time, but a lot of people just choose to be an employee because that's the way to get the student loan forgiveness. A lot of people feel overwhelmed when you're starting a business from scratch, and I totally understand that. The way I've learned to overcome that is to acquire a business that aligns with your nonprofit's mission and integrate it into your nonprofit. And if that business is cash flowing and profitable already, you've got cash flow and you've got profit coming into your nonprofit that you not work for. So not only are you getting paid as an employee of your nonprofit, you're getting your student loans forgiven in the process, as long as you're making qualified payments every month towards your student loans. A lot of people don't know that the jobs they're working are actually qualified employers for public service loan forgiveness. You could be making payments towards your student loan forgiveness and not even know it. For example, if you work at the post office, in a nonprofit hospital, if you work for a state college, if you work for a public high school, if you work for the public library system, if you work in a hospital, you might be working for a 501c3 nonprofit. The way to check for this is to go on studentaid.gov to see if your employer is a qualified employer for public service loan forgiveness. You'll need to use your employer's EIN and look it up on the website. If your employer is a qualified employer, now you just need to apply for public service loan forgiveness using the form that's available on studentaid.gov. It may take a while, but when you're approved for public service loan forgiveness, you'll then start making payments towards the 120 qualifying payments needed to get your loans forgiven. Now, you might need to consolidate your loans. If you have Stafford loans or FFELP loans that aren't direct loans, you'll need to get those consolidated into direct loans in order for them to qualify for public service loan forgiveness. And if I were you, I would do this as soon as possible, because sometime around April, there's going to be a one-time adjustment where you can get up to 3 years of credits towards public service loan forgiveness if your loans are in position. And there might be some rumors about making double payments per month sometime this summer, so you definitely want to be in position for that. Yeah, that's right, 2 payments a month towards your 120. Forming a nonprofit isn't hard, but you definitely want to keep up with the paperwork, and you're going to need at least 2 other people to be on the board for your nonprofit for it to qualify. Now, when it comes to forming a nonprofit, there are some other things that you got to be aware of and you got to keep track of, but we can go into further detail on next week's video. So if you don't want to miss any of this information, subscribe to this channel.